Hey Merfolk fans, Joe here. Thanks very much for joining me today. I am here on a very hot New York afternoon. It's been, I think, a little more than 2 weeks since I last uploaded a video. I just wanted to, I had a couple hours here, wanted to check in with you guys, see if I can get a decent match against a decent opponent. As we draw closer and closer to the summer, I'm going to be getting busier and busier. I'm actually getting married in Spain. My fiance is from over there, and we've decided to have the wedding there since she has a really big family. All my family and my friends will be flying over. It should be a pretty amazing time, and we're still figuring out what we're going to do after the wedding. Something traveling around Europe, so should be great. And we have an opponent ready. Looks like he might be from Rome. Ready to start. Alright, so I've got a 12. Let's see what the opponent rolls. He rolls a 3, so I'll be on the play, and I'll keep. 2 lands, 2 card draw spells, a Lord, removal, and Master of Waves. Looks like the opponent is thinking carefully about his hand, his or her hand. Alright, looks good. So, turn 1 island. Got Dismember if they throw anything out like a Birds or Hierarch or Glistener Elf. So in the case of Glistener Elf, would probably wait a turn. Okay, so a tapped Hallowed Fountain. Untapped, I guess. Serum Visions is good. I will gladly allow the opponent to pay 2 life to resolve this Serum Vision. Looks like maybe he's lagging a little bit. I said okay. Got to tap his Hallowed Fountain. Alright, so 1 has gone to the bottom, and 1 has stayed at the top. Serum Visions will go to the graveyard, and I will take my turn. Alright, well, I think it's time to get a threat on the board. We don't have enough information to deploy Spreading Seas yet, so I'm going to play the Silvergill Adept and reveal my Lord of Atlantis. Start applying some pressure. Alright, drew a Harbinger of the Tides. Not the most useful in blue-white matchups typically. We don't want to bounce things like Walls of Omens. I guess bouncing Sun Titan is okay. Snapcaster is terrible, obviously, to bounce. So, you know, it's just a 2/2 Merfolk body in most of the blue-white matchups. If it's a blue-white-red Nahiri, then we could bounce Emrakul. That would be kind of exciting. Okay, tapped Hallowed Fountain. Opponent knows that I have Lord of Atlantis here, so I think the play here is attack and see what happens. Or play the Lord out first and let it get countered. Or pathed. Let's attack. Maybe he'll choose to path the Silvergill Adept. Not likely. Alright, so blue-white needs access to double white for things like Supreme Verdict. I'm going to play a Wanderwine Hub here and reveal the Lord of Atlantis, just so it comes in untapped. He's already seen the Lord of Atlantis, so there's no downside really. Now, we have to think about Master of Waves coming up. So Devotion is good. We can play this Harbinger now and see what his next land is. Leave Dismember up. Yeah, this is tricky. I think drawing a card is good here. Maybe we'll hit a Cavern of Souls. And if he wants to use his Spell Snare on this, that's okay with me. Of course, I'd rather it resolves, but we have other 2-drops in our hand that are going to probably do more to help us win the game than Spreading Seas. Okay. So go ahead and attach that to the Hallowed Fountain. We'll draw a card. We drew a land, but not the one I was hoping for. I'll pass back. So the opponent with a slow start, but that's pretty typical for control. If they had the Spell Snare, they chose not to use it on the Spreading Seas, and if they had a Path, they chose to not use it on the Silvergill Adept, even in response to the Spreading Seas. So we can't quite rule out the possibility that the opponent has either of those cards, Path or Spell Snare, yet, because he may just have been holding those for better targets. The opponent still has access to 2 white mana for a board wipe. So in this spot, I think I'm going to attack and play the Master. If he uses a board wipe, I can follow up with Lord and Harbinger. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Against control decks, we typically just want to chip away while... let's see. Now, if he has something like Mana Leak, we can't play around it anyway without any of our creatures, so I'll go ahead and try to play Master of Waves. If he has that Spell Snare, it's not good in this spot. If he has Path, that would be good in this spot, but if he has Path, that would represent potentially that he doesn't have the board wipe. Though he does have 7 cards in his hand, so... might have a lot of options. Hard to get any kind of definitive read this early in the game against control with 7 cards in their hand. And I assume it's a controlling deck because they're playing blue and white. We've only seen Seer Visions so far. So the opponent might be confused about why I have 3 elementals. I might have to remind him that I control Spreading Seas. It's okay, it happens a lot. Gotta help people learn how some of these interactions work. It's no problem. Let's wait if they can figure it out, though. Nope. Okay, so now he knows. So are we going to get a Path here, use his mana effectively, or maybe save the Path for later and just kill all my dudes? So he's going to Path him, but the elementals have 0 toughness. They only live while he's around. So when he leaves, the elementals leave. Alright, so he's pathing my dude. I'm going to get a super redundant land. Still chipping away at his life total. He is representing that he doesn't have a board wipe. At least not before that draw step. Path is in your graveyard, not exiled. I think this guy, a little inexperienced, at least with Cockatrice. He asked me if I wanted to counter, but I was tapped out, so guess I could have had Pact of Negation. Okay, tapping some lands, 3 lands. Oh, Geist. Can't dismember that guy. Can't bounce him with Harbinger either. Alright, so opponent goes down to 13, cracks a Flooded Strand. Maybe he'll use a Serum Visions here, which would be good because I can play the Lord and attack with the Silvergill Adept. Leave up mana for Harbinger to bounce the Angel, I guess. He's not taking 2 for this, is he? Oh, he is. Like, alright. So what's going on here? Serum Vision? Oh, Hyena Umbra. Super cool. Alright. So yeah, blue-white auras here, apparently. 3/3 Geist. He's got Totem Armor. He's got First Strike. This is awesome. Alright. Sounds good. Cavern of Souls is decent. Probably not playing as many board wipes as I had feared earlier. I'm going to go ahead and play my Island Walk Lord. Since this guy seems relatively new, I'm just going to update my guy's power and toughness. Don't worry about him deriving it. So Island Walk, I'm going to just let him know. Maybe I wait for him to make a mistake, so I can correct him and make him feel bad about himself. But that's sometimes the best way to make people learn. Alright, well, maybe he still thinks that he could block and he's just being smart and not blocking, even though he has First Strike. Okie dokie. I think it's time to bounce an Angel. Geist does not have Vigilance, it just has Hexproof. This is... I can't imagine he would use something like a Supreme Verdict. Actually, hold on. Totem Armor says if he would be destroyed, he stays alive. So that actually would make a board wipe pretty good. I think I might just take damage if this guy attacks here. I don't want to waste my last creature just to prevent 4 damage. Okay, he's tapping some lands. Ordeal, oh my goodness, Ordeal of Heliod. Sure, I can't do nothing about that. Whenever it attacks, it puts a +1 counter on the creature. Then if it has 3 or more counters, sacrifice Ordeal of Heliod. This is a big deal in Standard, in the heroic decks. Sacrifice it, gain 10 life. He's not going to get to that point. At least I hope not. Without access to board wipe mana now, I think I'm gonna prevent the damage and bounce the Angel. So Geist is gonna be a 4/4, and the Angel's gonna be a 4/4. He's thinking. So I guess the plan with this deck is to control the first few turns with Path to Exile, set up your draws with Serum Visions, land a Geist of Saint Traft. So is he attacking? None of this gives him Vigilance. So I guess he's going to tap him. Okay, he's going to make an Angel. Now I can't bounce the Geist, which would be delicious because of these stupid auras, because he has Hexproof. That's why the guy plays auras to begin with. I guess he's making an Angel now. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to, as I mentioned, flash in my Harbinger. He might counter it, actually. He's got mana up. But I doubt this Hexproof deck plays counter spells. They might. I'm paying extra to cast him with Flash. He might be afraid for Geist, not realizing that Hexproof prevents this. Hexproof prevents this guy being the target of spells or abilities that I control. In this case, bounce the Angel. No blocks. I'll take 4. Go down to 16. And if he doesn't have follow-up creatures or removal, I guess he's toast, but he may well have some of that. Yep, I took my 4. This guy's ticking up with Ordeal, trying to gain 10 life. Well, he's got no blockers currently. He could have Snapcaster Path, which would be disgusting. But I could dismember the well, that's excellent. We do have Cavern of Souls. It's perfectly timed. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this guy. Doesn't have Cryptic Command mana. I don't think this deck plays Cryptic Command. As I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and update my guy's power and toughness, just because this guy seems relatively new. Alright, so it's going to have Island Walk sort of no matter what. We'll see what we can do here. Good game, alright, good game. So very, very interesting deck. Not one we see very much. It might be a brew. Blue-white hexproof. Looking at the top 2 cards, I don't want to interrupt him, but alright, cool. So he's got those auras, and his creatures are hexproof. So our removal is going to be less useful than it would normally be. In blue-white, however, I have to assume that his graveyard is going to be relevant. We'll bring in the relics. The paths, we can leave Kira in. Kira can block an angel in a pinch as well. We didn't see any artifacts. We took out Dismembers again because it's stupid to take 4 life to prevent 4 damage from an angel. And those are the only things that we can dismember. Dispel, pretty good against Path. Spreading Seas, pretty poor since we have Island Walk anyway. So I think I'll take out 3 Seas, bring in 3 Dispels. Might want to take out that 4th Seas in favor of something else. Potentially a Tidebinder Mage as an extra body. Actually, I have to assume he's bringing in board wipes, but probably in the form of Supreme Verdict, which can't be countered by Negate. I could bring in like Oblivion Rings and stuff like that. So gotta think Negate's gonna be better than Spreading Seas. Dispel, 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 and we got 2 Negates, 5 counter spells in, 2 relics. So that's 7 in, 7 out. Everything else looks pretty good. The Harbingers are probably not going to bounce too much, but we still want bodies, so. This is a good hand. Very nice. 3 creatures, a counter spell can hit his auras. Mulligan. I'll keep, and hope he has an interesting hand. Love to see some explosive, unexpected stuff from a deck that we don't get to see too often. He's thinking about the top card, and he likes it. Good. So he's going to keep that on the top. Hopefully I draw an AEther Vial or a Cursecatcher to hit my curve. Maybe Serum Visions. Slivery Vogel. All right. Okay, I could have seen that guy coming. Cavern of Souls, I don't think we have to worry too much about counter spells, now that we realize we're playing sort of a full-on Auras deck. So we are trying to prevent Daybreak Coronet from resolving. Have to assume he's going to play an Aura on this guy now. Probably going to take 2 life for this Hallowed Fountain here. No problem. Tapping my land just to freak him out a little bit. So he's not going to be able to be blocked. And when he attacks, this guy gets to scry. That's a good card. Alright, so it resolves. And he's going to get to scry. But it's a slow drip here with the damage. So, looks like he forgot to scry. Oh, there it goes. So the question is whether we leave mana up to counter a Daybreak Coronet. If he has it, he has to jam it next turn, I would think. Can we afford to not play a 2-drop here to hold up Negate? I think the only way that I lose this game is to Daybreak Coronet, and I think I'm going to take a turn off and watch what the opponent does. He is on a mulligan, but only to 6, and he did keep his scry on the top, and he got to scry again when the Bogle attacked. And he put it on the bottom. Now, I call this deck Boggles, because it just sounds better, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's like the old board game Boggle. So the opponent forgot to fetch. I mean, he doesn't have a lot going on over there, but he forgot to fetch. Just pay 1 for the strand, as if it was the end of my turn. No, don't take 3. All right. So he's doing something. Oh, maybe he's going to play Geist, in which case me holding this up kind of stinks. Oh, well. If he had Daybreak Coronet, I have to think he would have jammed it, even if he has the Geist. So I think it's more reasonable to leave up. Sorry, to not leave up mana next turn. Oh, alright. So, just do it, man. Attack. Alright, so he's going to get to scry again. Well, that's painful. He left the card on top, which means that he likes it. Obviously. Alright, these Harbingers, not that good. Man. Alright, so I think this turn I jam Lord. Follow up next turn with 2 2-drops, I guess. This is terrible. Actually, no, I think I'm going to play a Harbinger and then just block his Geist of Saint Traft, I guess. Whoa, little lag on the computer. Super slow on taps. Well, by leaving mana up for Negate that turn, I gave the opponent great opportunity to work himself into the game. If he plays any auras on this guy, it's going to make blocks pretty poor. Okay, Ordeal of Heliod. All right, so we are surely on the back foot here, taking 8 damage this turn, I think. All right, taking 8. So this guy can't be blocked. This guy can be blocked, but not profitably. I think that I'm going... Oh man, the angels are gonna put too much pressure on me. So he scryed and likes it, of course. So... Man, taking that turn off was a little bit silly. So, it's time to do a little bit of math. If I play a Master of Waves here, he could of course path him. But if I do and he doesn't have the path, then I have a bunch of elementals that can jump on Geist of Saint Draft. Follow up with 2 lords, and then I would be in decent shape. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So if he has a path, he's sitting rather pretty. So if I attack now, I won't have a blocker if he paths. But if I block anyway, I'm just in terrible, terrible shape. Yeah, I have to make up for... Oh man, he left this mana up for a reason. So he's probably got this path. Okay. I was just thinking about pathing the Harbinger. Alright, he doesn't path. Okay, oof. Got out of that. So, don't know what he was leaving that mana up for, because he did pay 2 life for the Hallowed Fountain. There is another Hallowed Fountain. So I was saying earlier that one of the few ways I could lose this game is if the opponent resolved Daybreak Coronet. It looks like another way that I could lose the game is... Oh, is he not attacking with the Geist? I'll take the 1. Okay, he's thinking. I always loved watching the blue-white heroic decks when I would watch standard coverage. I don't play standard. I don't like when the decks rotate. I prefer to be able to play a deck for longer than, I guess, 1 year or however long decks stay in standard. But I do watch it sometimes. Okay, so 2 mana for an invisible stalker. Okay, it's another creature. And maybe he's going to slap an aura on that guy, but he passes the turn. Alright, this is interesting. I'm getting to the point where I can leave up Negate, but Dispel is even better because I can play my 2 lords and leave up protection against Path. So that was a great draw. And play this Island Walk Lord. As I mentioned, I'm going to update my creature's power and toughness since this guy is relatively new, it seems. I'll try to play another Lord, and he's on no cards. Actually, hold on a second. Let's think here. If I play the Lord, I can attack right now for 8 with Dispel backup. 8 unblockable, 8 hexproof. He only has 1 card, so I have that covered with Dispel. He's got 2 blockers. One of these elementals can get through. So it would be 8 plus 2 for 10. But then if he slaps what's a Daybreak Coronet on one of these guys, does that screw me? Okay, so as I mentioned, if I play another Lord, I can swing for 8, no problem. Swing for 8, no problem. Get in another 2 through blocks. And be left with 2 3/3 Lords untapped. On the other hand, I could leave up Negate and Dispel, get in for 6 this turn, have blockers up, and then almost definitely win next turn. With 1 card in the opponent's hand, I think that's the way I'm going to go now. I'm going to attack, move to blocks. Let's see what the opponent does. He might still think that he can block because he didn't seem to know how Island Walk functioned in the first game. Like he's thinking a little bit too much about this. So he's going to go from... he was at 11 and he's going down to 5. Okay. And then we're just going to sit back on our counter spells here. I forget if he scryed away his Slippery Bogle card last turn. We can check because we have the transcript. He liked it. He liked that card. So it's got to be something good. But with the opponent not playing the card in their hand last turn, okay, Serum Visions is fine. He only gets to draw 1 more card off of that, and if it's a creature, I don't care. And I want to save Negate for something better, because if he follows this up with Daybreak Coronet, I want to be able to counter that. And Dispel can't counter anything except instant spells. So if he scoops now, it shows that he does know how. I think it shows... actually, no, he's just outclassed with my creatures. I was going to say it would show that he does know how Island Walk works. But even as it stands, he can block the 3 biggest things and still take 6 damage next turn. The opponent was on a mulligan this game to 6. They liked their scry, though. Okay, so he stopped looking at his library. He likes both of the top 2 cards, or he's given up. He knows how Path works on Master of Waves because he did that in a previous game. If he paths the Master of Waves, I think I might let that resolve because I still have lethal with this Lord next turn, and I would have Dispel and Negate back up anyway. Actually, if he paths the Master, I think I have to use Dispel just so I have blocks. Let's see who he attacks with here. If he attacks with, okay, with all of them. All right. Okay, so... Okay, so we're in blocks. There is an angel. There is an angel to think about. So she's going to hit me for sure. The Bogle's going to hit me for sure. So that is 5 coming across. I have this counterspell backup. So I think I'm going to throw 2. I mean, trample at instant speed in blue and white. I don't think that's something to worry about. I think I'm going to throw 2 at the Geist and take the rest, I guess. Or So Geist is going to die unless he puts some counters on him at instant speed. Alright, so I've taken the 4 from the Angel and 2 from these little guys. And if you Geist is not 5. Okay, second main. Let's see if he has anything that can save him. Alright. So I really love seeing unpopular decks, uncommon decks. And that is certainly an uncommon deck. So thanks for watching, guys. I don't know how much time I'm going to have in the coming weeks to do any uploads. Unfortunately, you know, this isn't going to help you too much, I don't think, with your strategies for bringing Merfolk, you know, to your modern FNM or any other tournaments, since you're not likely to see blue-white hexproof. But if you do, you have some insight from me to help you out. So hopefully see you guys soon. Leave any comments you might have, and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, that's it for me for now. Thanks again. Bye-bye.